Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not, and welcome to this very special edition of Top 10 Tuesdays. It is the season finale, the grand finale of this season, and we are looking at the top 10 Nostalgia Critic episodes. My personal favorites, ones I consider the best. And I haven't watched all 10 of these to know for sure. And for those of you who don't know, the Nostalgia Critic, Doug Walker, nearly 20 years ago now, back in 2007 I believe, started doing this little show called the Nostalgia Critic. He launched a website called theguyWiththeglasses.com, which is now channelawesome.com. Used to include a lot of other creators. That all went south. I'm not going to get into that. He does still have at least one or two allies on his side, I guess. The Cinema Snob being one. But, and his show has evolved from one guy sitting in a room talking over a movie with clips to actually producing episodes that have no clips and have to use people in costumes and having more of a cast and more people around just himself. Or a fake Mati. Hot! What the fuck? Fucking hot! What is that? No. So, over the 18 years he's been doing this, Jesus, he's produced a lot of episodes. Still doing it till this day. He'll take a break here and there. He's done reviews on movies. There's more bum reviews, which he doesn't do a lot more of. None of it anymore. At one point, he was going to hang up the boots. And then he did demo reel, and that didn't do very good. So, hey, let's bring the Nostalgia Critic back. And that's when it became a more format of going more into productions and doing more of that stuff, which he really likes doing. And, but, his brother Rob has been there from the beginning, helping him write and even appearing on screen. But it just sort of, there's more and more people now. So I had a lot of honorable mentions that aren't even the whole list. It's just ones I could remember because there's a whole bunch. But, And this is my personal top 10 list. The more I thought about these, the more. So with that in mind, these are my top 10 Nostalgia Critic episodes. Number 10, Man of Steel. I'm Superman. I'm a freaking Man of Steel. Yeah. This one, so when Man of Steel came out, I wasn't aware of this till later, that not many people liked the movie, including one Nostalgia Critic. However, what I like about it, so this is a crossover review, and most of the times during the crossover review, the person that's doing a crossover with him will have the same kind of view. This one tells two different points of view. Nostalgia Critic, who hated the movie, and Angry Joe, who actually liked the movie. So you see the 2 points of views, because like from someone who didn't like it, like Nostalgia Critic, and someone who did like it, like Angry Joe, where they have to they're putting out both of their opinions on the movie, and I think that works. It's a long ass review at 40 minutes, but it works. It's one of the longer ones. But yeah, it has a cameo. Doug plays the Zod, the classic Zod, the Terrence Stamp Zod. And Rob Scallon does the song at the beginning, and then shows up as Superman at the end to beat up Zod and laser Zod's balls. Lasered his balls off. Yeah. Would that work though? He's Kryptonian. I guess it would work. I don't know. But I always thought this was a good review. I thought this was a clipless one, but that's actually Batman v Superman. It's clipless. But upon thinking about it, I like this one better. So, number 9. Do you know what the pure essence of all comedy is? Timing. It's Casper. And if you're going to watch this, watch the one that says original edit. Because that's the one that has the chase at the end. That's the one you want to see. So, Casper, the Nostalgia Critic has a special guest of Casper, which is just Doug doing a squeaky voice. Doug Walker doing a squeaky voice? Never. No. But where he's just like, you know, and I love how he has to have can I keep you? That's creepy. Well, he has to have the ghost react to certain stuff. I don't know what I was on with that. Yeah. Oh, also, it's a dark joke. It's a dark joke, but during the scene where she's like, when Dr. Harvey thinks he's got to have a talk with his daughter, she goes, "No, it's too late for that." And he's like, "How late?" "Oh, not that late." The Nostalgia Critic throws out the joke, "I already had an abortion." And then you just see Casper go, "Wow. Wow." But yeah, and throughout the episode, Casper's constantly pissing with him. And at the end, he has enough and chases him down. And they actually filmed at a con that they were doing. So like he chases him down with a Ghostbuster suit trying to get him, and he dives in a pool and stuff. And was all cut from the original version that they had. So look for the one that has like a newer title card and says original edit or something like that, because the one, I don't know why they edited it out of the other one. It cuts just before he chases. But yeah, I recommend you watch the one that says original edit. You gotta have that chase at the end. It makes all the difference. Number 8, Alone in the Dark. Uwe Boll can't get away from him. So this one is another crossover. Hey, there's a bit of a theme to this, although like every other one maybe. But so Alone in the Dark is a movie directed by Uwe Boll, so it sucks. Based on a video game, but they, like most video game movies, they don't pay attention to anything in a video game. Stars Christian Slater and Stephen Dorff. And for this review, it had to be a crossover, not with one person, but with 2 people. Spoonie, or Noah Antweiler, and Louis Lovehog, or Lovehog? Minnesota's own Linkara. Yes, they're both reviewing the movie with him, and there's a gag. So apparently, I watched the commentary for this. Spoonie did a commentary. So what they say about Nostalgia Critic, how they say, oh, he lost his voice because he got so angry at this movie. That's not far from the truth. He actually caught some kind of throat virus, and he could barely talk. So, and it was like the day before they got there, and he could barely talk, and so they had to kind of watch the movie, write everything, and get it all done, and then put it out there, and then do the text-to-speech thing, and it was Spoonie came up with the bit of him typing, and it was supposed to be balls, but then they changed it to, I like to wear women's clothing. They did that a couple times in there, and it's just, so he is talking with a voice, you know, and it works, you know. I wonder, there's another review that Doug does for the Macaulay Culkin movie, The Good Son, where he does the papers. You have to really watch that one because he just has it written on paper because the text to speech, I don't know, but yeah, it's a fun crossover. It shows you the working relationship they used to have. But yeah. Number 7, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo movie. A movie that broke the space-time continuum, apparently. Because Nostalgia Critic goes to review it, and all of a sudden he interacts with his younger self and his older self, who looks suspiciously like Doc Brown. Yes. And so he has to review the movie, and then finds out that there is someone else behind this. Roger. Who's Roger? Well, years earlier, in a Christmas special called "You Dirty Rotten Bastard," I think it was basically supposed to be like It's a Wonderful Life, where he has an angel named Roger instead of Clarence. And at the end of the special, he kills Roger because apparently angels can die. Well, now Roger comes back for revenge, which starts a running gag in these live-action Scooby-Doo reviews of Roger coming back to do stuff. That is until Curse of the Lake Monster, and Roger is not there. Roger is played by Orlando Belial Jr., a frequent collaborator. I guess he was busy for that one, but I don't know. I like the character of Roger. See you, out there. He took long enough, or something like that. He says that or something. I don't know. But like, yeah, and so he has to play two different versions. One's like a Doc Brown version, this older version. Oh, Ray Scott, I don't remember that far in the future. And then the younger one, because I remember Scooby-Doo existed. I think he had to shave off his beard for that and everything, make himself look younger, fake pimples, and yeah. But also, as I mentioned, there was a point where he was thinking of hanging it up. And this was supposed to be that last episode. Like, the whole thing was supposed to be the end. And he even did the... basically, it was the end of Star Trek The Next Generation, where he goes to play the poker game. You are always welcome. That ending. I didn't know what it was until I saw a clip on Watch Mojo Countdown or something of top 10 series finales, and I went, that's where he got it from. So, but yeah, of course he would come back, and that's when he would start doing the more bigger productions. But yeah, number 6, another crossover with Fern Gully. This one's a crossover with Lindsay Ellis, aka the Nostalgia Chick, and yeah, because she was gonna review Fern Gully, and he wanted to do it, so they did it together. And yeah, so Fern Gully is one of my favorite cartoon movies of all time. And yeah, they have a great back and forth in this. There's not much to say about this one, actually. This should have been higher on the list, I think, up at number 10 or something. But it's a fun one to watch. They go back and forth. There's a bit of a fight between the two of them. Of course, no one's actually getting hurt, but it's a fun one to watch. Number 5 is Leprechaun. So Leprechaun's another crossover one. There's a theme. Well, actually, that stops here. This is the last crossover one. But it's a crossover with Brad Jones, a.k.a. the Cinema Snob. And what so it starts because these early crossovers, he does it in the crossover with Fayless, which I wanted to include, but that's technically a Fayless episode, or Fayless in the movies, or Fail Us, or whatever he calls it. That was his show, not Nostalgia Critic, where it starts off with it starts off with Doug as the Cinema Snob. I'm the Cinema Snob. And then the real Cinema Snob shows up. What are you doing? I'm the Cinema Snob. No, I'm the Cinema Snob. Deeper. They make my voice deeper. They start out trying to do both, and then Doug changes at the last. He's like, no, I can't do it anymore. Years of drinking Crystal Pepsi, my friend. And they have, if you think that others have a great repertoire with him, the Cinema Snob is like the best crossover person with him. He does a Sharknado. They do a crossover on Cinema Snob show for Black Christmas 2019. Yeah, and they have great here. the Sergeant Critic does his regular gag of cat, and without missing a beat, Simba Snuff goes dog. What are you doing? What? Fuck you, Lucky Charms. The whole thing. It's a fun episode. Number 4. It had to be on here somewhere. A bat credit card. You had the balls to give one of the greatest superheroes a bat credit card. No, does not compute. Yeah. Had to have this one on the list. So this has become so much of not a running gag, so to speak, but if you go to a convention and you come up to Doug and you say that, as long as it hasn't been overly done, he'll do a little, he'll do the thing, or somebody just go, if it's been too much, but yeah, so do it. Make sure you're there early enough in the day where it's not like, but yeah, so Batman and Robin. I remember when I was the kid and I watched this, I didn't particularly care too much for it, but I never hated it. I always knew it was the worst of the 4, but never hated it. Still don't hate it, but I can see where there would be gripes. Like, Barbara is not Barbara Gordon, but she's not British, but she's Oliver's niece, but she's not British. She couldn't do a British accent, I guess. I don't know. And, too many puns, too many ice puns. But, like, Doug goes into it in this episode. The bat credit card thing is the biggest. He's like, oh, they protected me. They've taken my tie so I can't hang myself. They've duct taped the end of my glasses. And, but they didn't get my cyanide pill. So let's go ahead and let's check into this. First line. I want a car. Chicks dig the car. This is why Superman works alone. Yeah. By the way, you don't take cyanide pill with water. A cyanide pills aren't there the things you put in and you go, and it makes you foam up, right? That's what that is. You don't. I don't know. I've never taken one of those. Obviously, I'm still freaking alive. But, yeah. This is a classic. So, number 3. Alvin and the Chipmunks. So, Doug really likes the original cartoon, as do I do. I don't mind the new ones. We'll get to my feelings on the sequels later. But I don't mind. I like the road trip and I like the first one. We'll put in that one in there. The Sons of Critic does not. But this gets up this high because this is one of the bigger production ones. It has the cast members, right? It has a bunch of cast members. It's him. You have Jim J. Ross, who's the prop guy. The aforementioned Rob Scallon as Simon. Jim is Theodore, but he's wearing gray because he's colorblind. I don't know if Jim is really colorblind or if it's just they couldn't find a green shirt or something. And then you have on the other side, you have Tamara is Brittany. Ayana Wade as Jeanette. And then Heather Roos is, what's her name? Eleanor. But she's also colorblind. And they're also the Aw girls. This also has the appearance of the chart guys. Well, the chart says those guys, which it does Malcolm and Rob. What the chart says. Yeah, and Michael Bay, which is just Doug with a wig on. Did somebody say something about doing stuff before? And yeah, and they review the movie, and at the end they do a full dance number. We are the girls of rock and roll. But here it's the real Chipmunks movie. And they go all out. They're on like a green screen thing. They're doing the dance. They take the turns. They even have the chart guys as the 2 henchmen. And I remember watching this. I'm like, who is Michael Bay supposed to be? And then I realized It's Dave. He's supposed to be Dave. And they do get, because in the cartoon movie, this is on the live action one, by the way. But because Doug likes the animated version, which you rightfully should, because that's awesome. They played all that at the end here. He did a crossover with Nostalgia Chick on the original animated film to edit in a song. But that one's not as good as this. It's a full production and everything. And it's actually got on an outfit and stuff. So, it's like uniform. Outfit. But, yeah. And they changed it, because in the cartoon movie, where they accidentally trip the henchman and they fall onto Dave, they roll and they fall onto Dave. Well, here they do that, they roll and they fall onto Michael Bay, but then because it's Michael Bay, they explode. Yeah, and then it ends with somebody thinks about doing stuff before. How have we never talked? But yeah, fun review. Number 2. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Yes, in a future where seahorses rule the world. We get the first appearance of Future Doug, who's Doc Brown, basically. And he, you from the future, who takes himself into the future because the room wasn't old enough yet. Nah, he doesn't really care anymore. But he had a certain point. Kind of like I do in my retro rewinds and stuff. They go to a certain point. I go to 2006, which is when I graduated. It's got to be before June 2006 for me to do it. And after that is From the Vault. I only did 1 episode for that. But my voice is going. Can you tell? This is the last one I'm doing. So, yeah. He actually starts up with a gag that he was going to review The Room, a movie he did back in the day. But no, it's this one. Something I didn't think of noticed just now. He gets brought into the future, right, to do this. But he also keeps getting interrupted by fellow YouTubers like Obscurus Lupa, Spoonie, and Linkara, who shouldn't be interrupting him in the future, or they should make him look older, but is the version from then? I don't know. Yeah, so he goes all the way to the future where seahorses rule the world, apparently. Yeah. And to review the movie. And it's entertaining as hell. It is. This was voted by the fans as the best episode. And I'm close with that. There's one episode that's better, though. So before we get to number 1, I have a few honorable mentions. These are the ones I wrote down. The Wicker Man, Batman v Superman, Ghostbusters 2016, Ghostbusters 2, Good Burger, the Bill and Ted movies, Saved by the Bell, Fox Kids, Toonami, The Disney Afternoon, Suicide Squad, Sharknado, The Wizard, Freddy vs. Jason. I could name off many, many more. I could. But I could. There's so many more you could do because they're all fantastic. But number 1. Does anyone want to play the Stephen King drinking game? That's right. It's Stephen King's It, the original. Actually, I don't mention this. Put the It remakes, because that was full productions. Those were clipless. This is a clip review. And it's one of those. It's a longer one. It was the first Nostalgia Week. Leprechaun came out after this. The Leprechaun review came out the week after this, but this one he's reviewing the original It. He comes up with this Stephen King drinking game. Drink every time a Stephen King trope happens. So basically you're drunk like 10 minutes into the movie? Half hour maybe? I don't know, I'm just saying. It probably goes quick. I've never tried it. There's so many. One, right away, you're going to get drunk. You're going to have a drink right away because it takes place in Maine. I always like the line where he's like, they're going to build a dam. Why? Because it's fucking Maine. That's just like how he says that. And he does have a point. Like, after he scares Wheezy in the bathroom, Eddie, in the bathroom, what happens? He's just like, oh, and then he's, what happens? Right? The other times they run away or something. I've always understood that, yeah, they're trying to scare them so that she can eat them, but I don't know, they need to do something else. He has some great points about this one, too. That he's done. Yes, the second half has always been worse than the first half. I think that's just a thing, because I think the second half of the book is also worse. But, yeah, and some of you might ask why I didn't put the 2017 one on here. That's a good one, too. But I prefer this one. This is a classic. The Stephen King drinking game, everything. Oh, I forgot to mention something about Batman and Robin. Super crap-a-fuckalicious. Expiala bullshit. Yeah, that's from that movie. That's from that review. But yeah, so there it is. Our top 10 nostalgic episodes. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed Top 10 Tuesdays, because I'm done, boss. So what are your thoughts on this list? What are your top 10 favorite nostalgic episodes? Leave a comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.